Okay, students, welcome to the next session, that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. In this one, in this class, I will talk about structure of anther. Structure of anther. Structure of anther. See, in this one, generally anther is bilobed structure. It has two theca. This is called anther. Totally stamen. In this stamen, we are discussing about anther. Anther is bilobed structure. Each lobe consists of two theca. Bilobed. Bilobed. Each lobe consists of two theca. Theca or theca, singular, plural. Okay, theca, singular, theca, plural, two theca. Okay, it is 1 and 2, 2 theca. In such a way, totally 4 theca are located. 4 theca. Okay, theca or theca, 4 theca are located. So these 4 theca is also called pollen sacs. Pollen sacs. Pollen sacs. Okay, these 4 are called pollen sacs. Generally, so these pollen sacs, 4 pollen sacs are located. Hence, it is called tetrathecus. 2 lobes are present. In 2 lobes, each lobe contains 2 theca. So, dithecus. Dithecus or tetrathecus. If we will consider 2 lobes theca, tetrathecus. If we will consider only 1 lobe, dithecus. Pollen sacs in each lobe, dithecus. In total, anther, tetrathecus. Okay, that's all. So often, longitudinal groove runs lengthwise. Often, longitudinal groove run lengthwise and separating 4 pollen sacs. See, longitudinal groove like this way. So, longitudinal groove. Like this way forms. Okay, so here longitudinal groove from here, from here, from here, from here. Longitudinal groove runs lengthwise and separating 4 pollen sacs. Okay, it is 1, it is 2, it is 3, it is 4. It is a 3-dimensional picture. It is means what? 1. It is related to this. It is related to this. This is related to this 4 pollen sacs. Okay, often longitudinal grooves, longitudinal groove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 longitudinal groove run lengthwise and separating 4 theca. Those 4 theca is called pollen sacs. In between 2 lobes, it is 1 lobe. It is 1 lobe. In between two lobes, there is a connective tissue is present. Connective tissue is present, which contains vascular bundles. Vascular bundles. So these vascular bundles separates. Sorry, these vascular bundles carries nutrients. These vascular bundles carries nutrients. Okay, so that is called structure of anther. It is 2 marks question. Write a short notes about structure of anther. Okay, that's that is a structure of anther topic. Structure of microsporangium. See here, microsporangium. So the microsporangium appears near circular outline. It consists of 4 layers. See, This is microsporangium. The microsporangium appears near circular in outline. Near circular in outline. It is microsporangium. It appears near circular in outline. Like this way. This is called microsporangium. The microsporangium appears near circular in outline. Circular in outline. In this one, see here, these 4 layers are protective in function. So generally here the microsporangium consists of 4 wall layers. 4 wall layers. These 4 wall layers protect the anther. See, in these 4 wall layers, first one is epidermis. The first one is epidermis. The second one is endothelium. The second one is endothelium. Third one is middle layer. Third one is middle layer. And fourth one is tapetum. 4 wall layers. So the microsporangium consists of 4 wall layers. These 4 wall layers are protective in function. So in these first 3 layers are called outer layers. The first 3 layers are called outer layers. See, 1, 2, 3. These 3 layers are called outer layers. So these 3 layers are outer layers, protective in function. Protective in function. Next, so these 3 layers also helps in dehiscence of anther. Dehiscence of anther and releases pollen grains. Releases pollen grains. Dehiscence, splitting of anther. So this layer is splits here. Pollen sac, 4 pollen sacs. So here these 3 layers are separate and releases pollen grains from the pollen sac. Releases pollen grains. Okay, so this is 3 layers. These 3 layers, in this one we have shown in the form of a circular outline. Exact diagram we will show. I will show to you. Have a look on that. See here, outermost layer is epidermis. That is epidermis. I will show in the form of complete diagram. See, this is called epidermis. It is called epidermis. Epidermis. Next, endothelium. This is called endothelium. Third one is middle layer. This is called middle layer. These 3 are protective in function and helps in dehiscence of anther to release the pollen grains. Next one is tapetum. Next to the middle layer, there is another layer that is called tapetum. It is innermost part, inner part that is next to the middle layer. That is called tapetum. The tapetum I am drawing. See here, like that. So the tapetum provides Nutrients are nourishment to the developing pollen grains. See here, it contains abundant cytoplasm, abundant cytoplasm, abundant cytoplasm, and also contains more than one nuclei, more than one nucleus. Okay, so this is called tapetum. It is the next layer to the middle layer. It provides nourishment to the developing pollen grains. Developing pollen grains. Next, it contains abundant cytoplasm along with the nucleus. That is called tapetum. Tapetum. Okay, so this is the structure of microsporangium. One more important point is there. At the center of the microsporangium or pollen sac, at the center of the microsporangium, at the center of the microsporangium or pollen sac, there is compactly arranged homogeneous cells called sporogenous cells or microsporocytes. At the center of the each microsporangium, there is compactly, strongly arranged homogeneous cells. So homogeneous means what? Same type of cells. Those cells are called sporogenous cells. These are also called microsporocytes. Microsporocytes. It contains dense cytoplasm, and prominent nuclei. Prominent nucleus. This is prominent nucleus. Okay, that's all. That is called sporogenous or microsporocytes. This point is very important point. Microsporocytes. Okay, so it carries about 3 marks question in annual exams. Okay, so if this question asked in exams, you have to draw. First, I have drawn circular outline, circular like this way, circular outline diagram. This is you have to draw along with these 4 layers explanation. If you mention everything neatly, then you will get 3 out of 3. Okay, that's all. Next, microsporogenesis. Next topic is microsporogenesis. See here, before this topic I said at the center of the each microsporangium there is compactly arranged homogeneous cells called sporogenous cells. Sporogenous are microsporocytes. Microsporocytes. Center I have drawn diagram also. So those microsporocytes undergoes mitosis divisions. Mitosis divisions, undergoes mitosis divisions and produces large number of microspore mother cells. Microspore mother cells. These are also called pollen mother cells. Microspore mother cells are pollen mother cells, which are diploid in nature. Diploid in nature. So why this entire process takes place in the anther? Anther is always diploid. Anther is diploid. In the anther, whatever maybe the cells are formed, those are haploid. Okay, so microspore mother cell or pollen mother cell, which is diploid in nature. So those microspore mother cell or pollen mother cell undergoes meiosis division. Meiosis divisions and produces microspores. Microspores are also called pollen grains. Those pollen grains are haploid in nature. Because this is diploid, here reductional division occurs. Therefore, here microspores, also called pollen grains, which are haploid in nature. So, in this way, pollen grains are formed. Yesterday, we discussed that. In anther, microspores are formed. Those microspores are haploid in nature. Haploid in nature. That is, yesterday we discussed that. Okay, that is pollen grains. Okay, here the process of formation of microspores or pollen grains from the microspore mother cell is called microsporogenesis. It is important definition. It is important definition for 1 mark. The process of production of microspores or pollen grains from the microspore mother cell or pollen mother cell is called microsporogenesis. Microsporogenesis. So this is the statement. Next, when microspores are formed, microspores or pollen grains are formed, it is formed as cluster of cluster of 4 cells. That is called tetrad. Tetrad, haploid tetrad. See here, pollen grains. Like this we released. Haploid, 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 haploid. When pollen grains are released, they are formed as cluster of 4 cells. Cluster, group of 4 cells. Those group of 4 cells are called tetrad. As the anther is matured, anther is matured, and dehydrate. Anther matures, dehydrates, then pollen grains are microspores are separated. When anther is matured, dehydrate, at that moment these 4 pollen grains are separated. The separated pollen grains have thick, tough outer layer, that is called exine. That is called exine. Pollen grain. This is pollen grain. It has outer thick, tough layer. It is called exine. Inner layer is called intine. Exine and intine. Okay, that's all. This is called pollen grain with a haploid number of chromosomes. Okay, next here, the pollen grains undergoes mitosis divisions. This pollen grain undergoes mitosis divisions and forms 2 cells. Larger one and forms 2 cells. One is larger, one is smaller. Larger one is known as vegetative cell. Larger one is known as vegetative cell. Smaller one is known as generative cell. Vegetative cell, generative cell. Pollen grains undergoes mitosis divisions and forms 2 cells. Those are vegetative cell and generative cell. Larger one is known as vegetative cell, smaller one is generative cells. Okay, that's all. So the pollen grains are considered to be male gametophyte. The pollen grains are considered to be a male gametophyte, as these are equivalent to the male gametophyte. Pollen grains are considered to be male gametophyte because pollen grains produces 2 male gametes at the time of pollen germination. Hence, pollen grains are considered to be the male gametophyte. Pollen grains are equivalent to the male gametophyte, because at the time of pollen grains germination, they produced two male gametes. Those two male gametes are fused with egg and secondary nucleus at the time of fertilization. That's why these are called male gametophyte. Pollen grains are called male gametophyte. Okay, that's all. Next here, so this entire process takes place. This entire process occurred in microsporangium. It is one pollen sac, here one pollen sac, here one pollen sac, here one pollen sac. Connective tissue in between two lobes, connective tissue is present, I said. Okay, so as the anther matures and ripens, when anther matures and ripens, at that moment, the layer between two pollen sacs, separated, cut off, dehiscence means separated, and releases microspores or pollen grains. This is microsporogenesis, the process of formation of pollen grains from the microspore mother cell or pollen mother cell is called microsporogenesis. Okay, that's all. So with this, microsporogenesis is finished. Now what formed? Pollen grains. Now we have to discuss about structure of pollen grains. Next, structure of pollen grains. Structure of pollen grain. Generally, the pollen grains are spherical shaped in structure. Spherical shaped structure. The pollen grains are spherical shaped structure and is about 25 to 35 millimeters in diameter. 25 to 35 millimeters in diameter. And it is the outer wall. So the pollen grain is covered by a thick wall. This thick wall consists of two layers. It consists of the thick wall. The thick wall consists of two layers. One is exine. Another one is intine. First of all, let us have a look on exine. It is outer, thick, tougher layer, often with spinous outgrowths. Spinous outgrowths. Like that. Often with the spinous outgrowth. See, the thick wall consists of two layers. So the exine, it is exine. It is the thick, tough outer layer, often with spinous, needle-like structures, spinous outgrowth. Okay, that's all. So this exine made up of by resistant biological material, that is called sporopollenin. The exine is made up of by strongest biological material, that is called sporopollenin. So this sporopollenin enable the pollen grains to survive in any climatic conditions. That may be high temperatures, strong acids, alcohol, or any climatic conditions. An enzyme is not known to break this sporopollenin. This is made up of by sporopollenin. An enzyme is not known that can break sporopollenin so far. Okay, see here, due to the presence of sporopollenin, that particular pollen grains can be survived for millions of years. After millions of years also, pollen grains can be germinated in some species due to the presence of sporopollenin. It is a resistant biological material. No enzyme can be discovered to break the sporopollenin since olden days. Generally, the pollen grains can be preserved as fossils due to the presence of sporopollenin. Okay, that's all. Generally here, the outer tough layer is called exine. Some of the regions of the pollen grains, the exine thin or absent. Some of the places, the exine is thin or maybe absent. That place is called germ pore. Germ pore. So through the germ pore, it forms pollen tube at the time of pollen grains germinated on stigma. So this pollen tube gradually reaches female gametophyte. So in this pollen tube only, so here I said already, it is a vegetative cell. It is a generative cell. So the generative cell undergoes mitosis divisions and forms two male gametes. These two male gametes are reached to pollen tube. Hence, pollen grains are said to be male gametophyte. Okay, that's all. That is the explanation about exine. Next, come to the point intine. It is a thick, outer thick, tough layer. It is inner thin, smooth layer. See, intine. Inner thin smooth layer called intine, which is located next to the axine. Axine. It is made up of by, intine is made up of by cellulose and pectin. Cellulose and pectin. Okay, so where the axine is absent or thin, in that particular place, even intine also absent or thin. That is called germ pore. Through that particular germ pore, it can give rise to pollen tube. Pollen tube. So generally, we can easily observe the pollen grains from any plant. At the anther region, touch with your index finger and thumb finger, and bring one slide and place it like that, and drop a few drops of water. You place it and observe electron microscope or compound microscopes which are available in our biology lab. We can be seen clearly pollen grains like this way. Okay, so that is one experiment is there in second PUC biology practicals. In future we can do that. Okay, that is called study of pollen grains. Okay, generally The pollen grain consists of two parts, that is vegetative cell, generative cell. So the vegetative cell is larger. The vegetative cell is larger. It contains reserved food material along with nucleus, irregularly shaped nucleus and cytoplasm. The generative cell is smaller. It is freely float on upper surface of the vegetative cell. On upper surface of the vegetative cell. Generative cell is freely float on vegetative cell. It is also contains reserve food material with nucleus and abundant cytoplasm. Over 60% of the angiosperms, pollen grains in over 60% of the angiosperms, the pollen grains are shed at two-cellular stage. Two-cellular stage, that is vegetative stage, generative stage. Vegetative cell stage, generative cell stage. Over in 60% of the angiosperms. Rest 40% of the angiosperms, the pollen grains are shed at three-cellular stage. Three-cellular stage means what? It is okay. This generative cell undergoes mitosis divisions and forms two male gametes. Then it is 2 + 1, 3. At the three-cellular stage, the pollen grains are formed. Okay, that's in 60%, two cells only. That is vegetative, generative cells. In two-cell stage, only pollen grains are drop off. In rest 40% of the angiosperms, the pollen grains are shed at three-cellular stage. Okay, that's all. So generally, it is possible to preserve pollen grains for many years. Many species of pollen grains we can be preserved many years by preserving them with liquid nitrogen. With liquid nitrogen at -197 degrees centigrade. This phenomenon is called cryopreservation. 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 It is possible to preserve pollen grains of a number of species in many years using liquid nitrogen at -197 degrees centigrade. In liquid nitrogen at -197 degrees centigrade temperatures, those pollen grains are mixed and preserved many years. This phenomenon is called cryopreservation. So where pollen grains are preserved, those places are called pollen banks. Those pollen grains are used for plant breeding programs by the plant breeders, okay, in botanical labs. This is the explanation about the structure of pollen grains. It is very important. It carries for 5 marks question in annual exams. So describe briefly with the diagrammatic representation of pollen grains. At that time, you have to draw this diagram, exine, intine, and clearly all the points, if you mention very neatly, then you will get 5 out of 5. Okay, so still continuation is there about pollen grains. That is, we will see in next video.